everybody. Robbie Straczynski here for Card Player Lifestyle. We are at the Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida, with the one, the only Vince Van Patten from the World Poker Tour, co-commentator extraordinaire. Nice to meet you, sir. How you doing today? How you doing? Good. So, we did a lot of research for this interview, and the thing is, before I did that, I really knew you, yes, as one of the voices of the WPT, but also as the son of the legendary Dick Van Patten. And it turns out there is a lot more than just those couple things to you. As a matter of fact, a bunch of research. So let's go back to the early days in Hollywood. You got a resume dating all the way back, I believe, to the 1970s. You were on everything from Gunsmoke to Baywatch, right? You were on the Love Boat. How is it different now that you're working, or now you're for the last 15 years, working on a traveling program versus something which is, I guess, more stationary in the trailer, like your typical Hollywood fare?
Yeah, well, as an actor, I'd go, you would do the show, maybe it was on location or something like that. You had lines. This is actually my first hosting job, commentary. I never did that for any other sort of thing. Well, I did one World Series event in 99 where I did that. Okay. But besides that, I'm not really a host or commentator, but I adapted quickly. I know the game so well. It's part of my blood. It's in my blood. So,
sure.
That's the difference. So this is not acting. This is commentary, and it's been a blast. It's been great fun.
Well, certainly, you've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Well, at some point, when during the Hollywood career, you had co-starred on an episode of the $6 Million Man, familiar to a lot of our audience, and I believe it was called The Bionic Boy, and there was a chance of it even being spun off. Is that right?
That's right.
Unfortunately, if I recall correctly, it wasn't.
Yeah, no.
What was that like for you? Like, were you hoping that maybe this is going to turn into your next big thing, or which is like, I don't know, we'll see.
Good question. No, at the time, you're always looking to get a big series as an actor. And yes, I had a 2-hour special called The Bionic Boy. I think I was 19 at the time, and shot it, and I had dreams of doing it. But Lee Majors at the time said, I just want to tell you, Vince, he goes, I'm not going to let this go to series. Because I did it with The Bionic Woman.
Right.
And he goes, and that took away a little bit from, his show. And so I just want to be honest, I'm not going to let it go, even though the producers and everybody were saying. So at least he told me up front.
Okay.
And then I moved on, and I went to the tennis world after that. And
we'll get to tennis. We'll rebound. We'll serve some aces. We'll do that sort of thing. Okay, so you played tennis professionally, right? Okay, so the transition from Hollywood to tennis, I don't know anyone else who's made that sort of a thing. What was that like, making the transition? I mean, it wasn't just like recreational tennis. You were like a major tennis player, professional.
Yeah, top 25 in the world. And,
yeah, sure.
I never thought I was going to make it. I was self-taught in tennis.
Well, you didn't have a coach?
I didn't have a coach. No.
Wow.
I was self-taught, and that hurt me as a junior tennis player. But anyway, I did make that transition, jumped into that world, played tennis for 10 years on the circuit.
Right.
Traveled the world doing it. It was a great experience.
And you played, again, not just anybody. You played against, and you even beat John McEnroe, and you played against Bjorn Borg. I mean, these are legends of the game, and you said you ranked top 25 in the world. Did you have aspirations? Maybe you're going to go ahead and win a Grand Slam, and like this, you're going to be known as Vince Van Patten, tennis star?
Yeah, I wanted to be number one. When you were 25, when I beat McEnroe, when he was number one, I beat him twice.
Wow.
I believed I was going to be number one. I trained and I put everything into it. Didn't make it for many different reasons, but a lot of things broke down on my shoulders and my knees and stuff like that. But it's all part of it. But I did go for that opportunity. You get close. You have shots, but it just didn't work out.
At some point, did you feel like maybe, I don't know, a different type of training or nutrition? And that's very common today. Everyone does like the nutrition or getting coaches or reading books, everything they could possibly do to get an edge. What were you doing besides obviously practicing tennis?
I did everything, but I also partied a lot. I actually had a great time on the circuit. We'd go out when I was in Stockholm, Sweden. I didn't. I couldn't resist. So I enjoyed the life too. So maybe that hurt me a little.
So maybe it doesn't make the Wikipedia page, but you got the memories that serve you pretty well, I'm sure.
I don't regret it. I just did the best I could, and I had a great time doing it.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a similar line. I've heard a lot about you over this, time we've been here at the Seminole, talking about doing the best you can. In what ways do you feel that your tennis career prepared you for your WPT career? Because there seem to be some parallels.
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, I've been playing poker my whole life, in high stakes games, especially cash games and things like that. And I do pretty well. And to be a great poker player, you have to have all the knowledge. But you also have to have heart. You've got to be able to. Everyone knows, hey, you should be bluffing this. You should be taking this spot now. But not everybody can do that. It's the same thing in tennis. When you're down break point, and you have to serve, you have to have the heart to go for the ace or go for the big shot at the right time, and you've got to be able to come through with that. So I think all that training in tennis, I think I played the big points well, and I think in poker and stuff, I have good concentration, and I put it on the line, win or lose.
For sure.
So I think that's helped me in the poker world.
Do you still play a lot of poker today, would you say?
I used to play, cash games, home games in Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
3 days a week, basically. But now I've cut way back.
Okay.
I'm just not playing as much. You get older, so
I understand.
I want to see the sights more. When I'm down here, I go to the beach every day.
Right.
I play tennis.
I hear that. Oh, when you say you play in Hollywood home games, like I'm, if I was watching this, I'd be like, okay, who did he play with? Any specific stories or names you might be able to mention at all?
Well, over the years, yeah. I mean, in the beginning of the 70s and 80s, when I played my father's games, guys like Don Adams,
wow,
Van Dyke, Gabe Kaplan.
Oh my God! Wow.
Great director John Huston.
Sure.
And then I had games in the late 90s in Beverly Hills, Ben Affleck and Toby.
Sure.
Played all these guys.
Wow.
The Hollywood people love poker.
Sure they do.
And they're good players.
Well, I can understand that. Well, all Hollywood people, clearly. Well, Mike's got a title. Tony's got a title. He's got a bracelet. Lynn's got an EPT ladies title. When is it Vince's turn, and what sort of hardware are you going to get, or would you aspire? Like, if I could have one title, one thing on my resume, poker-wise, what would it be, and when do you think it's going to happen?
Well, I haven't made a final table. The last 5 years, we weren't. Before that, we weren't allowed to play World Poker Tour events. Mike and I.
Right. It's relatively a new development.
Yes.
Yeah.
They said, you can finally play. And so Mike, plays a lot more tournaments than I do, and he's done extremely well.
Certainly.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's made 3 final tables. He took down a championship. He's such a great player. I ran deep in a couple of them, like 12th and 15th, and I only play about 2 or 3 a year. But I would like to. It's World Poker Tour to me is the one I would like to get to the final table and win, rather than a World Series even.
Right.
World Poker Tour means so much to me, so that would be a great honor.
And if you do, then you'd be participating in the Tournament of Champions at some point. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, it would be great.
Who'd take over commentating duties? You're out, Mike's out, Tony's out. Who's going to do it? Lynn's going to do it on her own.
In quick.
I hear you. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to put you on the spot. Tell us something about Mike that we don't already know. Some crazy story from behind the scenes.
Mike's the greatest guy in the world.
Sure.
But he absolutely.
He won't watch. Go ahead.
He's so smart that sometimes with the bosses and stuff, and when he's talking to him, he says, he might not want to do something like, he may not want to go to work like next Friday or something like that. So he'll say, in front of me, Vince was thinking that he shouldn't go to work next Friday. Vance and I, most of the Vance, So he'll twist it. I'll go, Mike, what are you talking about? And then he's gone. So that's a little bit of, what would you call that? What else about Mike?
Well, that's real camaraderie.
He doesn't leave his room anymore when he's at the hotels.
No kidding.
No. In the early days, we'd play tennis and do some things, and now we want to do something, and he's like, I'm fine. I'm just fine. So he's kicking back.
Interesting.
And I think he's doing a lot of writing and stuff like that. But,
sure.
So
and playing. He still plays a little bit,
yeah,
obviously. Yeah.
And we played a lot of poker together. I've never seen him get upset once at anybody. Never say, how did you play that? He's a good hand. He is the greatest professional player.
Someone like that is the ambassador, of course. Like that. That's the way we all ought to aspire to play the game. Win or lose.
Yeah.
Okay, a personal question. I've noticed on your Twitter that once a year, in the beginning of January, you post this picture of some sort of a penguin swim.
Yeah, sure.
What is that? Who are those people in that picture?
Yeah, those are
and
my
where
family
is it?
and friends at Venice Breakwater, it's called Venice Beach, Beach.
Yeah.
And every January 1st, we've been doing it since the early 70s. My father loves the ocean, and even though the water's cold, it's about 55.
Sure.
We run out there, you get a little workout beforehand, and we swim about a quarter of a mile.
Okay.
There's about 200 people doing it.
Right. I mean, it's a huge group.
Yeah, and you're freezing at first, but then you numb up, you get completely numb, and you walk out and you feel great the whole rest of the day. So it's the penguin swim. They do the polar bear swim in New York.
Right, sure.
But we do our little penguin swim. We've been doing it. It's a tradition to the Van Patten family and friends for over 40 years now.
How did it start? I mean, it's not like, hey, we just wake up one day and let's do it. Is that?
My father's always been, and his father we loved cold water.
Huh.
And
interesting.
The feeling you get going from hot to cold.
Right.
So he was taught and enjoyed that, and my father, embraced that too. So we all followed his footsteps into that. And I'm still doing it today, and my kids are doing it.
So you're passing it on as well.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Okay, well, people would be very disappointed if I didn't ask any question about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Sure.
So, your wife's on it. She starred on the show for the last 3 seasons. And you've also been on the show as well. So, okay, similar to a comparison sort of question. So you're on this produced WPT show all the time, and you're also on this reality TV once in a while. How do those two productions compare? What's that like, reality TV?
Well, I'm just on Housewives as the house husband once in a while, so
okay.
Just stuck in. But it's unscripted.
Really?
They really just go, "What are you guys going to do today?" "Oh, we're going to do." "Well, okay. Can we just shoot it?" "Okay, fine."
Mm-hmm.
So they shoot a lot of stuff, maybe 7 times more stuff to shoot than actually aired. So you never know what they're going to put. But they're all real storylines. My wife Eileen is doing a great job, I think. And
right.
Her first season, she was very nervous. She couldn't sleep a lot because how was she coming off? But now she's relaxed into it and kind of enjoys it. And
well, that's really cool.
Really like her.
And you're happy to be along for the ride, right?
Exactly. We're entertainers. You get in the business to be on TV, to make some money doing that.
For sure.
And you have to do. Sometimes you do shows like that. I don't think it's bad to do a reality show if you have nothing really to hide. And somehow, I think it can change lives in a good way.
I like that you have nothing to hide. That's really important, Because who knows what could come out otherwise.
Right. But I think also people see that and go, "Oh my gosh, they fight, but look how they're resolving it." There's some good that comes out of a reality show, even though most people go, "Oh, I can't watch that. How can they do that?" I think there's a lot of good that actually comes out of these shows too.
Very interesting. Well, Vince, this is the end of season 15. You've been with the World Poker Tour since the beginning, 15 years. You've done, pretty much everything there is to do. What is still on your bucket list is something you'd like to sort of achieve in the poker world as a player, as a commentator with the World Poker Tour? There's got to be something like, wouldn't that be nice?
Well, we're going to go into season 16. Mike and I are best of friends, Lynn and the whole gang, so having a great time. I also got a movie that we're doing in 3 weeks.
Really?
And it's based on my true story of my poker game back in LA.
Okay.
But then there's a lot of fabrication too. But it's about the high stakes gamblers. I changed a lot of names.
All right, okay.
And we make a crazy bet in the desert, Las Vegas. That's all I'll tell you. We're going to start filming that in 3 weeks.
I'm sure it has a name.
I'm not even going to tell you the name. Because it kind of, it gives away a lot. And I want to sort of save it for when it comes out, like in 9 months. And,
well, we'll check the IMDb page for Vince Van Patten. I'm sure it'll appear there at some point. That's really cool.
Yeah, so doing that and just living the good life and enjoying my family time with my kids. And
that's really awesome. Wow, that's great. Well, everyone, this is Vince Van Patten. You can find him on Twitter at, I believe it's VinceVanP_WPT. I'm Robbie Straczynski. We're here at the Seminole Hard Rock for the World Poker Tour Tournament of Champions. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time.